This is OTB in 10, fantasy banter in 10 minutes or less. Let's get right to it. So Garcia, the first question of today as we go into week one. Look, there are a ton of new look offenses that we could get excited about. You've got Brady's Bucks, you've got Newton and the Patriots, you've got Hopkins and the Cardinals, even Rivers and the Colts. If you look across week one, who are you most excited about to see in just a few short days from now?
I'm going to go bland, and I'm going to say it's Cam Newton and the Patriots, not so much because of Cam, but more because of this is really what we've all been wondering for the last 2-3 decades, it seems like now. Who was the person that led the Patriots to so much success? Was it Mr. Grumpy, or was it the guy with the good hair? My guess it's going to be Mr. Grumpy. I think he's going to be able to keep that franchise afloat. And I think he's going to make Cam, productive. I don't think Cam's going to have like an MVP-like season, but the weapons, are sustainable to, be productive and be able to, handle the AFC East when it's all said and done. So I'm looking forward to what Belichick's got up his sleeve. I think he is going to show everybody that Brady was just part of the system.
So to me, there's one answer, and the answer is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Tom Brady, and here's why. When you look at the offense last year, right, everyone seems to have this plus mentality, right? So there's this ceiling that we still think Evans or Godwin or Ronald Jones, relative to where they're being drafted, it's as if we don't think they've reached that ceiling. Even though Jameis Winston threw for 5,000 yards, we think that Brady is going to throw for 6,000 yards. Even though Winston threw for 30-plus touchdowns, and even though the Bucs were a top 10 team relative to time spent ahead. So I don't know where people think these margins are going to be made up from. But let's move. Let's move on. We'll head over to rookie predictions. Again, I will start the clock here and ask you this, Garcia. So, from Clyde Edwards-Helaire in Kansas City to Cam Akers in Los Angeles and everywhere in between, this is one of the more exciting rookie draft classes, at least that we think will make a fantasy impact quickly. Who are you most excited to see in week one?
I'm going with the number one pick overall, that kid out of Ohio, Joe Burrows. He's going to lead the Bengals. I think they've got themselves some great weapons for him. Will the O-line be able to keep him upright? I would hope so. I think there's a lot to be said about Zach Taylor's offense, with the fact that he was able to still produce with Andy Dalton as the quarterback, and then A.J. Green pretty much gone for much of the season. So I'm excited about that. I think they've got a favorable matchup against the Chargers, who I don't think offensively are going to be as good with Mike Williams being down, and who knows what you've got with Tyrod Taylor behind center. I think the Bengals will have the ball more often than the Chargers, which gives Burrows a lot of opportunity to put up some points, whether it be by his arm or with his legs.
So I like opportunity in week one, and what I mean by that is, there's so much we don't know. I like Jonathan Taylor. I just don't know what his timeshare will be out the gate. I like Cam Akers. I just think, Sunday night in Dallas, I'm not sure what his timeshare will be, with Malcolm Brown there. I think Cam Akers is the more talented guy. Anyway, all that to say, I'd go Clyde Edwards-Helaire out the gate in week one. Even in a timeshare situation with Darrell Williams, I do believe that there's just more opportunity. High-powered offense, probably a high-scoring game. And I do have, very, very high expectations for Clyde throughout the year. Okay, let's move over to a lightning round. And here's how this is going to work. Can I get a little bit more time on the clock here? Maybe 2 minutes and 30 seconds? Perfect. 2 minutes and 30 seconds. I am going to give you the player, who they're playing, and the fantasy projection. And I want you to tell me, Garcia, over or under that projection. Are you ready?
I'm gonna go with the under on everybody, but yeah.
All right, here we go. Joe Mixon playing the Chargers, over under 14 fantasy points.
Mr. Payday, yeah, I'll say over. I think he's going to prove that he's worth the money. And again, like I said, I think the Bengals are going to have the ball more often than not in week one, just because I don't think the Chargers offense is going to really be able to do much. Not so much because of the Bengals defense, but more with the fact that I just don't think the Chargers have all the weapons they need right now. And a lot of questions with the quarterback situation. So I'm going to say Joe's going to be able to get his carries and probably punch in for at least one touchdown.
I'll take the over as well. I think Joe Mixon. I don't know that I'm fully bought in terms of where the Bengals will be this year relative to last year. I know there's a lot of people that think if this offense could actually be one of the more high-powered offenses. I'm not quite there, but I do think they're going to be a run-first offense with a rookie quarterback, and I do think that there's more opportunity than there was last year for scoring. So I'll go over. Okay, OBJ at Baltimore. Oh, and I think we might have lost the camera. Did we lose the camera? I don't know. Let's hope we didn't. OBJ at Baltimore, over under 9 fantasy points.
It's so difficult with the Browns because of the fact they have so many individual needy individuals on that offensive set. I think the Browns are going to probably do a lot of ball control, and I don't see OBJ having huge numbers, but I think because we're looking at, 9-10 points you said, I think he's going to be able to get it with at least a few receptions here and there. I don't think he'll find the end zone, but I think he'll at least somehow get his share of yardage after the reception, and then also add in the fact that he'll probably get quite a bit of looks and receptions in the half PPR league that we're in. I think that's going to behoove him to get at least 9-10 points.
I'm going to go under, and I'm going to say that Cleveland has a good shot at upsetting Baltimore in this game, but I think that they are a better team when they're a run-first team and they're using Odell, not fully to a decoy, but I think that having him doubled and going to other targets benefits them. So I think they're going to lean into that more this year, be a run-first offense, and that might mean that Odell's fantasy value isn't quite where his fantasy managers want it to be, but that the real Browns are going to be a lot better than they were last year. Okay, we only got 30 seconds, so I'm just going to give you names, and you're just going to tell me over-under. Miles Sanders at Washington, 15 over-under.
It's an easy bet, over.
I am going to go under. Devin Singletary, your boy, I had to get this one in. Over-under against the New York Jets, the team of your youth, 13 points, over-under.
It's only been 1 week since I drafted him in the second round, and I'm already regretting it, and I'll be regretting it come Sunday night when he does not get anywhere near those numbers against the Jets.
I'm going under as well. Okay, last one. Ronald Jones, you look Tampa Bay Buccaneers, just talked about him, at the Saints, 11 points, over-under.
Yeah. You could say goodbye to his starting position after week 1. Leonard Fournette will take over after week 2 because of his poor performance in week 1.
All right. Okay, we're going to move to some OTB-specific questions, and let's start with this. It's tough for us to really identify. Wait, hang on a second. I need a different clock here. I need a minute on the clock. Thank you. All right, let's get going. It's tough for us to identify Week 1 as a must-win game, but, we'll say that it can be predictive of future success. So, Garcia, looking across OTB, if you had to pick one team that needs to start strong this year, who'd you pick?
It's a flip of a coin between you and Sidebar and myself because of the fact that when I looked at our rosters, again, Devin Singletary as my second round pick as one of my lead backs, and then you have Daniel Jones as your quarterback. We might be hurting for some points. So I'm going to say it's going to be you simply because of your quarterback when it's all said and done.
I'm going to say it's wristbands for this reason. We have unfortunately really given him a well-intentioned good time over the years, about his teams having not made the postseason and having always fallen short. Made the postseason. They were a title contender last year, and there's this question mark. Was it a fluke, or is this the real thing? Well, this is his opportunity to prove it. I think he had a very strong draft, a great collection of receivers. I'd like to see his team start off well against you in Week 1 and show the league that this was not just a one-time thing. Okay, last question. We are running out of time. As we look at Week 1, what is the one game that entices you most? There's some good ones, right? We got Sidebar and Waverman. We've got you and wristbands. We've got Greatest Show and Paper Fill the Throat. There's plenty. What is your one game you're looking at in Week 1?
I believe it's Gronk, who has Lamar Jackson as his quarterback, versus all aboard the baby bus, who's going to have Pat Mahomes as his quarterback. That is a marquee matchup. When you go down the rosters there, they've got some huge players on their lineup. So I think that's going to be one. I think right now they're projected each to get into the 120. So I suspect they will surpass that just because of their quarterbacks alone.
I'm going to take Sweet Home Chicago and Regulators just because, again, for Sweet Home Chicago, talk about a season that hit a groundswell and then was just this close to getting there, to get into the championship or to getting championship glory. Again, I think a pretty strong draft. Of course, Leonard Fournette maybe threw a monkey wrench before the season started. I think it's important for Sweet Home Chicago, with some of the other kind of powerhouse teams, the Shipwrecks and Cincinnati's in that division, to get off to a good start against Regulators this year and to demonstrate that they're going to be back in that title contention race moving forward. Well, we did it. We did it. We're just about at 10 minutes, so we're going to end it here.
Wow.
Heath Garcia out on the West Coast, Sidebar on the East Coast. Take care, OTB, and enjoy week 1.